Many of us measure the greatness of a person by how much money one donates to charity. However, once we dive into the lives of teachers, our standard for greatness will be belittled. This is what life means to my math teacher, Ma'am Cidi. As the students begin to grow in number, the heavier the responsibility to be a better educator becomes, the more efforts it has to take her to carry us to success. And this is what we call greatness.
Okay, class, let's move on. May you explain when you lead the prayer?
In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, amen. Dear God, thank you for allowing us to reach this school safely and giving us another day to learn. We also thank you for our teachers who committed their knowledge for us. Please give us an open mind to absorb and understand the lessons that they will teach us no matter how difficult these are. May this be a productive day as always. All this we ask in the name of your mighty Son, Jesus Christ, amen. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, amen.
Okay, good morning, algorithm.
Good morning, Ma'am Cidi. God bless us all.
Okay, thank you. You may now take your seat. Okay, class, we have our very exciting activities for today as part of our lesson last week. So let's continue our discussion of the conic sections, and we would have our next conic section by surprise as what it is in our activity later. So I would like you to have a cuttings of these veggies and any conic section that you can produce out of these veggies will have surprise. You know this?
Every gold circular chip is equivalent to 5 performance task points. Every pink heart-shaped chip is equivalent to 4 performance task points. Every orange triangular chip is equivalent to 3 performance task points. And every blue rectangular chip is equivalent to 1 performance task point. These chips aim to encourage students to express what they have in mind and be an active student for a more inclusive learning.
Okay, can we start now? Anyone volunteer about cutting any conic sections from these veggies? Any volunteer, please? Okay, another volunteer? Usually, Patrick. Okay, so let's observe class. They will get the right conic sections that we are going to discuss for today's lesson.
From the bottom part of carrot, it shows a parabola, or rather two parabolas, and from the horizontal cut from the top, it shows a circle.
Okay, class, do you know the good job clap?
Yes!
Okay, so let's give them a good job clap.
G-O-W-J-O-B, good job! Good job!
Okay, Mika, this is your gold chip for that parabola. Henrich, this is your gold chip for that ellipse. Misery, this is your gold chip for that ellipse also. And then, Shabri, congratulations, this is your gold chip for that. Okay, class, do you have already an idea of what kind of conic section are we going to discuss today?
No.
Okay, so let's have this pre-assessment first before we start with the next activity.
Number 1. involves a set of curves that are formed by intersecting a plane and a double-napped right cone.
All of the above.
Number 2. A round plane figure whose boundary consists of points equidistant from a fixed point.
Sphere.
Circle.
Number 3. A curved line forming a closed loop, where the sum of the distance from 2 points foci to every point on the line is constant.
Ellipse.
Number 4. It is the line of symmetry of a parabola and divides a parabola into 2 equal halves that are reflections of each other about the line of symmetry.
Axis of symmetry.
Number 5. A fixed point is called the blank.
Dot.
Focus.
Okay, class, after familiarizing ourselves with some of the terms that we discussed a while ago, okay, I'm going to introduce to you an activity. Actually, that's very exciting activity. Okay? So, amazing. You will amaze. You will be amazed later when you see what you are going to do. Okay? So, this is entitled Guess the Verb. Okay? Guess the verb. So you are going to guess. Okay? So guess the verb. So at this point in time, what you are going to do is to think first of a mathematician that you know. And then, after having that mathematician, yell it after you are done with the activity. Okay? Okay, class. Do you have already your group names?
Yes.
Okay, group 1. What's your name?
Chrisselda.
Chrisselda. Group 2?
Pythagoras.
Pythagoras. Pythagoras. Group 3?
Descartes.
Group 4?
Euclid.
Euclid. Oh, intelligent students with good mathematicians. So, with your groups, I'd like you to arrange your chairs in circular form and then do the activity once I flash on the screen the instruction.
Cut a wax paper having the same size as that of a short bond paper. Draw a straight line on the wax paper using a permanent marker. Place this line at the bottom of the wax paper about a ruler's width from the bottom. This will be the directrix of your parabola. Decide to where to put the focus above the horizontal line, but see to it that it is at the center of the horizontal line. Mark the line or directrix every 0.5 inches. Fold the side of the paper aligning the point on the line to the fixed point at the center. Continue to fold the paper until you finish to fold the entire line. Mark the curve that was created using your crayons. With your crayons, draw a line from the focus to any point on the parabola. Using the same point on the parabola, draw a line perpendicular to the directrix. Now, using your ruler, accurately measure the distance from the focus to the point on the parabola. Likewise with the distance from the point of the parabola to the directrix. Finally, observe the distance and discuss it with the group.
Okay, is that clear to you? Okay, proceed now. Okay, class, I'm going to distribute you the materials that you're going to use in the activity. Okay, are you ready now?
Yes.
Okay, section is parabola. Now, please define parabola based on the activity. Anyone? Anyone from the group?
Ma'am, based on the activity, we found out that the distance of every point of the parabola to the focus is equal to the distance from each respective point to the directrix, forming a 90-degree angle with the directrix.
Okay. Here is your prize. Very good. Good job. Okay, any other group class? How about from Aristotle? Yes?
Parabola is a group of points that have the same distance from a certain line and a certain point.
Gold chips. Okay, that is a gold chip equivalent to $100. Okay, how about you, Cliff? Can you define a parabola now? Yes?
Based on our own work, we define parabola as a set of points in the plane where the distance of the focus to the point in the parabola is equal to that point in the parabola to the directrix.
Okay, please keep that $100 small focus. Okay, let's proceed to the winning group. Who is the winning group? The card. Yes?
After the activity, we found out that parabola is a curve form from a fixed line called directrix and a fixed point called fund.
Okay, very good. $100 bills, $100 token. Okay, class. This time, let's now formally define a parabola. Now, according to your explanation a while ago, a parabola is a set of all points in a plane equidistant from a fixed point and a fixed line. Now, what is that fixed point again? Focus. Very good. And what is that fixed line? Directrix. Okay, great job. We are now going to look for some application of parabola. Now, what I would like you to do is to go around. You can go out if you want and bring me some of the or something that you can find outside that looks like a parabola. Is that exciting, class? Yes! Okay, you can now proceed. Is to present in front of class what object you found outside is the best object that resembles like a parabola. Okay? Do you understand? Yes. Okay, so Euclid, Descartes, Aristotle, and Pythagoras.
So this is a cover of a plastic cup. It is useful because this prevents spillage of the beverages. So this umbrella represents a parabola and it is necessary and it is a part of man's everyday basics because it is necessary for our own protection, especially during rainy season. This bag resembles a parabola and this bag is part of man's everyday basics.
So this cable wire is a parabola because it has a curved shape, and it can also be seen in a man's everyday basics, especially electricians who creates cable wires in our home.
Okay, class, thank you for all your cooperations in bringing here all the things that you can think of objects that resembles like a parabola. Thank you so much for your cooperation. Okay, before we ended up our discussion on parabola, I'd like you to reflect on this. Think of a way, in any way you want, how you can create a parabola out of these two objects. Okay, the card group, how can you do that?
We can form a parabola from this by just cutting it off and scooping out the inside part of the egg.
Okay, so you can cut the egg so that it looks like a parabola, but it's not actually a parabola, but it is a paraboloid because it is solid. Okay, so class, what else can you imagine? How about this ball? Do you have any idea how you can create? Okay, Aristotle.
I guess the same concept applies for the ball. If you cut it in the middle, you'll make a paraboloid.
Okay, class. Do you agree that by cutting this ball at the middle will resemble like a parabola?
Yes.
No. Okay. Why do you say no? Anyone? From your group, Criselda?
A ball cannot actually form a parabola because it is impractical to cut it into half. However, there are similar ways on how you can create parabola on that ball.
Okay, any other idea how can you create a parabola out of this ball?
Ma'am,
Okay, right. Can you explain that?
Ma'am, since a ball is a sphere, it's technically, well, it's not a perfect sphere, but if you cut a sphere, it's either you will get a, you won't be able to actually get a figure or a shape that will resemble in any way a parabola. So I think the best way to create a parabola out of a ball is to think outside the box, and from what we learned in physics, if the trajectory that an object takes when you launch it at an angle makes a parabolic figure. So I think the best way is to make the ball either bounce or throw it up in the air at an angle.
Ayan, that's a great idea. Okay, class, before we ended up our discussion, I'd like you to have a summary of what we have discussed today about the topic on parabola. I think it's necessary that before you live, you know the idea of what is really parabola. Can you define now parabola?
Yes.
Okay? All together, recite it.
Parabola is a set of all points in a plane equidistant from its point and a fixed line.
Okay, so that's very good. A parabola is a set of all points in the plane equidistant from a fixed point called the focus and a fixed line called the directrix. Okay? So with that, I thank you for your cooperation to have a successful discussion today of our lesson. So reflect on this class before we live. Having to face our everyday lives, we often encounter things that can drop our emotions and can make us feel as if we are the most unfortunate person on earth. However, class, we need to always remember that though failures are already part of our life, we need to be steady at a fixed point and a fixed line with direction and focus. Thank you. Okay, class, before you leave, please arrange the chairs and clean our room. And Thank you for your cooperation today in our very nice discussion of parabola. Welcome, class.
Goodbye, and thank you, Ma'am Cidi. God bless us all.
Okay, God bless you.
Dear Diary, today I was enticed with different thoughts and realizations in my mind when we discussed a lesson about parabola. I witnessed how my friends and classmates cooperated in our class. I've seen their eagerness to learn the lesson. I was also very much surprised how a simple lesson was able to be related to a very deep life learning. Truly, the depth of something lies in the mindset of individual. Those are the things I've learned today. May the next day be as exciting as it was today.